I'm joined here now with Michelle Hamilton and Kelsey Belk, and now we're into the new year, almost into February, and Bell Let's Talk Day was just a few days ago, and mental health is a topic that a lot of people are speaking about right now, and Bell Let's Talk Day really helps set that conversation. So just what do you think the impact has been with mental health and ending the stigma with Bell Let's Talk Day?
I do feel like we've come a very long way with, improving awareness that everybody struggles at times. And our mental health is just like our physical health. There's times where it's good, and there's times where there's some issues coming up that are natural and kind of unavoidable in life that we struggle through. So the other thing, though, that I think is really important to point out is that another aspect of what Bell Let's Talk initiative does is also address the question of care and access. Now, that's where I point out the challenge in our community currently, and over the last couple of years especially, there's been a very intense increase in demand for mental health services. But the problem is that there is often not enough resources as far as qualified mental health professionals or funding, for mental health. And certainly Bell Let's Talk is putting a lot of money into the initiative around the country. But I wanted to point out that one important thing that I think is a responsibility on my end with my career is to support the development of new psychologists and new counselors who can prepare and be well qualified and well trained in their education and their practicums to take on the need as we go forward, because there is only going to continue to be a very strong need for mental health support in the aftermath of COVID-19. So I'd like to introduce my practicum student, Kelsey Belk, who is now going to just talk a little bit about COVID fatigue, because on top of the usual seasonal affective disorder, which we all kind of struggle with in the winter months of the darkness, the cold, and the Canadian winter, now on top of all of that, we have COVID fatigue.
Yeah, so just as Michelle mentioned, I think now more than ever, mental health campaigns like Bell Let's Talk are crucial just with helping to get the word out about mental health and to just really help with ending the stigma around it, especially being that we are 2 years into a global pandemic right now, and one that has been highly politicized, and with that has come a polarization of views being expressed on social media and the news. And I think it's safe to say that we're all experiencing a level of COVID fatigue right now. So even just the knowledge and getting those conversations out there, and just people letting people know that they're not alone, and we all in a sense are in this together. And when they do start to feel that they are alone, then it's important to seek help and get the help that they need.
Now, Michelle, you touched on how it is harder right now for some people to get the help they need or even go to therapy. So, what has been some things that you have been recommending to people at home to kind of get them into their positive practices and everyday routines?
Finding the balance between things we do that help us ground ourselves, in other words, calm down, feel safe, feel comforted. That might be, seeking out comfort in the presence of, let's just say, an animal, a pet, a warm, comfy blanket, certainly a person, and so on. Finding things that soothe us and ground us. And then also finding activities, people, and places that activate or energize us, that improve our ability to move and feel strong and feel flexible physically as well as mentally. So, of course, that can include getting back to habits of being active physically and, moving even inside your house. Make a playlist of some of your favorite songs of grade 9 and really think about getting into just a little bit of movement. Get up and take some time to move your body and stretch and engage in some way in the world with people.
And adults aren't the only ones being affected by the pandemic, as it is having a big impact on kids' mental health. So, just what have you been saying to parents and teachers to kind of help their kids get back into those positive mindsets?
One thing that you can do is just open up the lines of communication, and just like I said before, we're all in this together. So even, you know, children and teenagers, they're all experiencing this as well. And so just making sure that you know, do those check-ins and ask them how they're doing and really listen and hear what's going on and what they're going through. I think that's really important.
Thank you, ladies, both so much for joining me today.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for
having
having
us.